New system where we're not looking at seniority as the only factor in determining who stays in the unfortunate situation of a layoff. What it would do is licensure will still be first in the priority. Second would then be teacher effectiveness, which will be determined based on the evaluation system. And then third would be seniority. So all it does is move seniority from being the priority to making teacher effectiveness in the classroom being the priority. Also, the timeline of this bill does not go into effect until the year 16-17, which would be after the completion of the task force, which is putting together an evaluation system, and that would give that system time to be put into place into the school districts. And then school districts have the opportunity to create their own system and put it into effect immediately if they choose to, but it will go into effect statewide by the year 16. There is definitely teacher support. What I think people get confused is that seniority equals experience, and that is not the case. Seniority simply means when you signed your contract in that school district. So if you had 10 years experience in one school district and then you change to another school district, you go back down to 0 seniority. And so experience and seniority are not hand in hand. So there's a lot of support for that part of it. We lose, I believe, 45 to 50% of teachers in their first 5 years of teaching. And I would argue that it's frustrating as a teacher to know that until you get to that safe seniority level, it doesn't matter how well you do in the classroom. It doesn't matter how effective you are for your students, and I think ultimately the #1 factor here should be the students and teacher effectiveness in the classroom. And so what this does is it allows those sometimes experienced teachers who are not the senior teacher to also be able to have the ability to stay in the classroom and work with those students.
This is not an anti-teacher measure. It's a pro-teacher measure, and there isn't any teacher that should have to feel risked. If they are a senior teacher and are still working effectively, they have nothing to worry about. You know, if this is not going to be the the clean house of ineffective teachers. That may come as a part of an overall evaluation system, but this is just in the event of layoffs. And
well, he's got some concerns about it. I think he appreciates what we're trying to do here, but I think he also has some little hesitations relative to whether or not we need to do this at this point, whether the timing is right, and so on and so forth. But I would characterize him as on the edge, and certainly as we go forward, maybe some more discussion here can persuade him that this is a good bill and he ought to sign it. But we didn't convince him. I want to emphasize that. But
I understand it. There's more work being done on that on the House side. I spoke to Representative Benson, who's my representative, and he's working with Representative Peterson on that, as well as I spoke to Carlos Mariani, and he too has some thoughts about that. So I look forward to that. I'm hopeful. The fact that both sides on this bill, different than other bills, have not rushed to concur. They've left it open. They've made it clear we want to go to conference. I think that's because they're serious about wanting to work with the administration and the governor. And so I would hope that the bill authors, and I trust Senator Wolf will be, but also Representative Peterson will really listen to members in the minority so that we can make the kind of changes that would give us a chance of having it be passed into law. Because it doesn't matter how good a bill is, if it doesn't become law, it doesn't matter.